Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show Podcast. Well, we are back on the horse, good and proper, as they say. The holidays are now a distant memory, and yeah, we're back to our bread and butter. So, we've got all of our usual features back. We have listener mail, weekly drone, all that stuff to look forward to. And you're going to find out why I'm mentioning this at the very beginning of the show as we get into weekly drone. Controversy already, and I haven't even got out the door yet. What's going on? Yeah, this week, folks, we're going to be catching up as best we can. There is so much news and updates to catch up on over this past 3 weeks. I don't know. You think that the bagpiping world takes a break, but it absolutely doesn't. If anything, I think things ramped up over the course of the holidays. And we've got a lot to discuss, folks. Yeah. Plus, we have an amazing topic of the week where we're going to be previewing this year's winter storm. Yeah, I know it's crazy to believe. This weekend sees winter storm, and we'll get into everything. Yeah. So, of course, let's get through our introductions then, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And yeah, I'm going to give a big shameless plug at this point. Patreon. Like every other podcast, we do have a Patreon page. And over the course of the holidays, we've seen quite a bump in numbers again. So the numbers have been climbing over there on Patreon, which is fantastic because it really does help us here on the Rab Show team to help us make episodes and help us attend events and make the show. So thank you for all of you who've clicked on support. And we hope you managed to enjoy all of those juicy little nuggets that we have over there. There's a lot of extras that are Patreon exclusive, and you can go and check all those out. Yeah, of course, you have all of our Christmas run over there on Fuse, where we played a lot of great Christmassy stuff and New Year's-y stuff and that as well. We had a lot of fun over in Fuse FM over the holidays. It was fun. And you can go and check out all of that on Patreon. Plus, there's a lot of exclusive stuff there as well, like videos, exclusive performances and interviews and episodes of Rab Show Plus. There's tons of stuff over there on Patreon. Anyway, I know I'm speaking glowingly about it, but that's because we have a great community over there on Patreon. So just shout out to everyone who does click on support and help us out. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. All right, that's the Patreon plugged. Now, with each and every Big Rab Show, we do open the door to listener mail. And this week is no different. Yeah. Now, as I say, we are sort of catching up. There's been a lot of listener mail over the course of the past few weeks, and I may need to summarize in some certain subject areas, okay? I'm going to do my best. However, there has been some emails that we do need to single out and we need to get through here. First one comes in from Steve McDougall. Hi, Steve. He says, hello, Rab. Greetings from the city of Rockford, Illinois, to be precise, in the United States. We are a grade 5 competition band in the Midwest Pipe Band Association, and we're going to make a serious run at this year's Champions Supreme in 2026 and move up to grade 4. I love the optimism there, Steve. Keep her lit, my boy. Good stuff. He says, love the podcast, and I just co-celebrated your 1-year celebration as I started at the beginning and just finished listening to January 24, 2018 episode. What? You went all the way back to the beginning of the pod? Wow, mate, that's something else. He says, I really enjoy the fact that you laugh at yourself during the show. Okay, especially during things that Rab got wrong sessions. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of those.
Stuff that Rab got wrong.
Yeah, there might be some of those on this week's show as well. Yeah. He says, I am a member of the Snare Line and was wondering if you could give a shout out to the band as we're wrapping up a year-long 25th anniversary celebration for the band having formed up in 2000. It would be appreciated. There you go. Shout out to the band. Awesome stuff. The city of Rockford. Excellent stuff. So, yeah, keep the pipe band information and piping news headed our way, please. Regards, Steve McDougall. There you go. City of Rockford. Shout out to you guys. And, yeah, best wishes for this incoming season. I love the confidence there from Steve saying, yeah, we're going to have a serious run at the Champion Supreme in 2026. So, yeah, best of luck, guys. That's great. Thank you for your email. All right. Now, I think this is where I'm going to summarize this with this next email here. We got so much correspondence with our episode with Pipe Major Rab Matheson. I'm sure you might have heard it by now. Yeah, episode 468, we sat down with the legend himself, Pipe Major Rab Matheson, and we talked all about the mysteries of ensemble. Now, if you haven't listened to that episode yet, I know a lot of you are still sort of catching up after the holidays and stuff. Honestly, that one was an absolute cracker. Go back, have a listen to it. It has caused quite a stir in the piping scene. Since we dropped that episode, seems to be everyone's talking about it. And we got a wealth of correspondence, tons of questions, commentary, stuff like that, all of which we asked for on that episode. We did ask you, if you have any questions and stuff, send them in. So we've been stockpiling those. We do have a collection of them, and we are gathering all of that together for what hopefully will be another future episode to sit down and have a chat with Rab himself and go through all of the questions and hopefully answer all of your queries with regards to ensemble. Honestly, that episode between Rab and I, that took months of preparation to put together. Episodes like this just, they aren't thrown together. They're not just, let's throw something at the wall and see what sticks. No, that episode was months in the making, and I'm so glad that it was really well received by the piping scene. So, yeah, it's just fantastic. So a lot of those emails have been received, folks. They are being collected, and they will help inform a future episode where we do hope to sit down again with Rab Matheson and, again, discuss the mysteries of ensemble. Yeah. So there's one such email that I do want to point out. This one came in from Craig. He said, "Hi, Rab, long-time listener, first-time emailer." Thank you, Craig. He said, "The interview you did with Rab Matheson was absolutely brilliant." Brilliant. Thank you, Craig. Said, "It's the best piping podcast I've listened to in a very long time. Followed closely by the previous week with Bob Worrell." Yeah, that was a cracker as well, wasn't it, Craig? Yeah, and the discussions around ensemble and what it actually means. It's fantastic. So thank you. Yes. He goes on to say, he said, "Yes, it's great watching and listening to grade one bands, but let's face it, they are the minority, and they also have access to a lot of resources and experience that most bands do not." That's the reason I'm reading this email. Yeah, we did make a point on that. We did want to talk about what lower grade bands could do to help their own ensemble. We weren't in that conversation to always talk about the grade one big guns. This was very much a conversation also focused on grassroots piping. So I'm glad that came across. And for bands, he goes on to say, and for bands that can't mix in those circles for whatever reason, cost, geography, capability, etc., having access to insights like that with Bob and Rab are invaluable. Thank you. So, he goes on to say, "I'm pipe sergeant in a small regional band in Queensland, and we aren't able to compete due to a low drummer number and the tyranny of distance." That's very almost poetic there, Craig. He says, "We do emphasize playing musically. To hear what we've been trying to achieve echoed by the likes of Bob and Rab, it's nice to know that we're heading in the right direction. Thank you so much for providing the platform and doing what you do week in and week out." Not a problem, Craig. Thank you so much for your email. And the whole reason I was reading that email there from Craig specifically is not just because he said it was brilliant, because yes, it is. But he was talking about that approach from a grassroots level. That's how we pitched this. Now, if you want us to hear us talking about the grade one big guns and how they should approach ensemble, absolutely, we will do that. But I do think the majority of our listenership here on the Big Rab Show, the majority don't play in grade one. Now, I do know we have a good number of people who play in grade one every day, every year, and listen to the show religiously. Absolutely. But I'm not freezing you guys out, of course. But, yeah, I am also talking to those of you who are playing in grassroots levels bands. And, we did try to aim our conversations at all levels, not just the top flight. So I'm glad that sort of came across there. So thank you for your email, Craig. As for other commentary, yes, we got a lot of great comments about our interview with Bob Worrell and his insights as well. A lot of great conversation there with Bob. And for those of you who caught last week's episode with Andrew Bertov, a lot of you didn't know that he was a competitive bagpiper. What? I don't know, but a lot of people didn't know that Andrew was a competitive piper in his own right. So we were educating a lot of people as to who Andrew Bertov was. Yeah, it was a brilliant conversation, and if anything, I think it kind of reflects the dedication that is needed in, pipe band journalism and what he does on pipesdrums.com. Such a fascinating conversation. Go and have a listen to it if you haven't. So, yes, those 3 episodes give us a bit of time off. All of us in the Rab Show team actually spent time with family. I know, it's unheard of. But yeah, we managed to spend a bit of time with friends and family. We actually watched Netflix for a bit, and in my case, I got a bit of practice done and some well-needed maintenance done to my pipes. And I know a lot of people have also done the same thing. I've seen a lot of people over the holidays changing out bags and seasoning and tying in new stocks and stuff. There was a lot of maintenance being done over the course of the winter. But there was also some gigs aplenty as well. Now, there's been tons of announcements and things like that as well. We'll get into all of that in the news and updates. We're going to do what we can to catch it all. We'll get into that. But I just wanted to say, to have those 3 weeks to ourselves at the Big Rab Show team, it was fantastic. And I think we needed it as well. So to have those 3 kind of specialist episodes where we did catch up with some big names in the scene and we tackled some big topics as well, it was well needed. And, we're back on the horse again. So we have a wealth of shows lined up already. We've been, furiously busy for the past few weeks, actually putting together content for what will be 2026 coverage, and we're excited for it. Anyway, we'll get into all of that and what the season holds in later episodes of the show as we preview the 2026 season. But let's say this, it's going to be quite packed. Yeah, that's an understatement. Anyway, that's it for listener mail. If you do have any comments, queries, questions, or even suggestions as to what we should be covering on the Big Rab Show, then please do let us know. You can email us, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Drop us in your emails, and then, we can be featured on a future show. All right. Now, you might have been waiting now for 3 weeks for Weekly Drone, and it's finally time. JD didn't really take any time off over the holidays because what seemed to happen quite often, now this could be stuff that Rab got wrong. Yeah, it might be, but I have an idea that a lot of people had time on their hands over the holiday. They might have had a glass of 2 or of sherry and might have decided to send in a weekly drone to Rab when the juices were flowing. And be prepared, folks. This week, as we catch up with loads of weekly drones, some of them make for very entertaining listening. Woo! Now, there has been some that's hit the cutting room floor. Some of them I just can't broadcast. They are hysterical, but they can't be broadcast. But yeah, you guys know the crack. If you get wellied into the beer and then you start sending messages on the internet and all the rest, and then you wake up the next morning and you have the absolute fear, and you're like, oh God, who did I message last night? Oh no, I sent in a weekly drone to Rab. Oh God, what did it say? Well, you're about to find out. All right, let's get our first weekly drone for this week. JD, we've a load of these, but let us have it. What's the first one for this week?
It's the weekly drone.
Hey Rab, quick shout out to say Happy New Year to you and your wonderful team. Keep up all the great work in 2026. Love you guys.
Now, that wasn't too bad, was it? That was was okay. That was someone wishing us a happy new year. Now, that's nice, isn't it? That's a nice one. Now, that one, that landed into our email box. It must have been around 2 a.m., something like that. So, but yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That's a nice one, that. Oh, thank you, JD. That no controversy there. All right, let's get on to a second one then. Are we in a controversy yet?
The Weekly Drone.
Out with the old and in with the new. Rab, I've been piping for over 30 years, and some of the leadership and appointed old farts back in the mid-90s are still holding on to their power and positions. Why do we keep appointing these decrepit old farts? Have we ever considered the reason why some of the Highland games are closing shop is that the folks running them are too far gone? Boomers, enjoy your retirement. It's time to allow the next generation of doers to take over. We do have great ideas, energy, and can do it much better than you could ever imagine. Regards, an angry elf.
An angry elf, indeed. Yeah. Now, as for, I don't know, decrepit old farts, I don't know. There is an argument to be had for experience versus enthusiasm. And I think that weekly droner right there is absolutely filled with enthusiasm. Brilliant. Absolutely. Now, as for the old guard, as they say, it's a fair point. A lot of people who are in positions of power and all of that within various branches and even in headquarters level and all of that, you see it all across. A lot of people do get into quite high-powered positions and they stay there. But I would argue that they are there because they have the experience, the knowledge, the know-how to be there. And they keep being voted in because, well, it's believed that they've done a cracking good job the year before. So, I don't know. We've said this on the show before about the importance of annual general meetings. AGMs are vitally important. And if you do want to see the change of the old guard, as they call it, well, you need to attend your meetings. You need to stick your head above the parapet and nominate someone else whenever these roles all come around. Now, I do remember before the holidays crept in, I do remember speaking about, the various AGMs that were happening all around and the various roles that were being put out for vote. And, as we can see, we have what we have. And, those were voted in place by the members, which are you folks, the band's folks, listening right now. You voted them in. So if you want to affect change, attend your meetings. And that's where I'm going to leave that. So, Angry Elf, I hope you managed to cheer up over the course of the holidays. Yeah, there is an argument to be had about the exuberance of youth and the enthusiasm for changing things, but also there's a lot to be said for a wealth of experience in a certain area. Yeah, that's a fine balance, isn't it? All right, moving on. JD, let's get another weekly drone, mate.
It's the weekly drone. Flashes. Hi, Rab. What's happened to flashes on the outside of the leg? So many I see have them at the front of the leg, on the shin. Some are the drum major folk who are a bit more attuned to correct attire. Not sure where this idea came from. Looks odd. Maybe next you could wear your Glengarry backwards with the ribbons over each cheek. Would look just as silly.
I'm not sure that wearing the Glengarry backwards would catch on. Not sure about that. But the flashes, this is something I had to clarify. Now, our own quartermaster within the band that I'm playing in, Tullylagan, did tell me that I was wearing my flashes incorrectly. Now, the last time I, even thought about flashes, I always dressed to the side. Yeah, I'm same as you, Weekly Droner. I always dressed them to the side of my leg. However, it does seem to be the current either fashion, trend, or maybe it's in the rule book. I don't know. But there does seem to be an understanding that you do what's called dressing to the line. Now, I've heard drum majors talking about dressing to the line constantly, that there is a line down the center of your kilt that everything lines up with. Your sporran, your belt, your jacket, your waistcoat, your tie, everything gets dressed to the line in your kilt. As for your flashes, there is supposed to be a center line in your socks and your hose that runs up the shin of your leg. And you're supposed to put your flashes on that line. And same with the knot in your in your brogues. And when you're tying your laces, it's supposed to be dressed to the center as well. So is this a new trend? I don't know. Pipe band fashion does change. You know, I do remember, whenever I started playing, it was back in the 80s. All right, I am that old. But every band had white hose. Every band that I knew had white socks. And now there's very few bands that actually have white socks on. I think most bands now have coloured socks that sort of match in with the rest of their uniform. It's quite common now. But back then, that never happened, you know? And even before I started playing, I do have memories of bands going on and competing on what we now call the number ones, you know, with the big bear skins and the chaps and everything. Yeah, with the big silver buckles. Gosh, I remember them silver buckles on shoes. They're all gone. So pipe band fashion does change. I do believe the regulations around pipe band dress also changes. And if you want to wear your flashes to the side, then go for it. I think the rule is, as long as everyone is in uniform, you have to approach it the same way. So you can't have 2 or 3 players dressing to the line and then 2 or 3 players dressing to the side. They all need to be the same. They have to be uniform. And I think that's the rule of thumb here. So whether you're deciding to follow pipe band fashion or cut your own path, have at it. Good luck. But you all need to be uniform in approach. That's my understanding right there. There you go. All right. That was an interesting one. But let's get another one. JD, give us another weekly drone, mate.
The weekly drone.
Greed. Why are Clockfen Pipe Band charging £25 for their concert in the Burnavan? They're only a grade 3 band. When Tullylagan grade 2 put on a great concert, charged £16. The numbers going will reflect the price. The Lagan always gets a full house.
Now, weekly droner, I absolutely resent that. The tone that was used there, that they're only a grade 3 band, that's horrible. That absolutely sticks in my throat, because Clockfen Pipe Band can absolutely melt your face. If you haven't seen or heard Clockfen Pipe Band, you don't know what you're missing. And writing them off like that is flat out horrible. And yeah, claiming that the ticket price on both shows are comparable, no. Both shows are completely different fares. Tullylagan's concert is happening in the Burnavan Theatre on the 18th of April in the Burnavan Theatre. Shameless plug. And yeah, you can get your ticket and you'll be treated to all sorts of a great variety night. All sorts of great acts, including the development band that I play with, of course. They'll have the learners there, as well as the grade 2 big guns as well. They have other acts appearing as well on the bill. For the full listing, you can go and check it out on the Burnavan website. As for Clockfen Pipe Band, their concert is on the 9th of May, which is later. It's closer to the season, but it's also a very different show. Now, for the full rundown on all of that, what's happening there, yeah, you can go and check that out, and you might be able to see why ticket prices might be different. Now, Tullylagan Pipe Band are drawing from a lot of local talent, including they're putting their own big guns on stage and all of that, and showcasing the best of local talent. Whereas Clockfen Pipe Band, again, they're running a fundraiser, but they're also hosting Stuart Little MBE and Stephen McWhirter, who'll be providing all sorts of blistering music on the night. So that might give you a bit of a clue. Now, not only that, but also Clockfen will be on stage, amongst others. It's going to be a real heck of a show. So whenever you're comparing both shows and expecting them to be exactly the same price and exactly the same, I don't know, content, I guess. I don't know. But Weekly Droner, I think that's where you and I completely disagree. Whenever you're writing off a band saying they're only a grade 3 band, sorry, you're getting one of these. Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, Clockfin Pipe Band will absolutely tear up the stage. I can't wait for it. If anything, I'm going to be playing in the Tullylagan concert, of course, but I'm also going to be at the Clockfin night as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a real good show. So, Weekly Droner, disappointed with that one. All right, JD, come on. Cheer us up. Give us another Weekly Drone that's maybe a little bit more positive, please.
It's the Weekly Drone. Where have they been? Have you caught Wasatch and District's social media presence lately? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what the story is, but have any of you guys out there seen this from Wasatch? Wasatch and District have been absolutely tearing it up on their social media this last while, especially on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Man, I don't know. They seem to have found fifth gear or something. They've really kicked up the content, and some of it is so innovative. Yeah. Go and check out the content from Wasatch and District. They've been really churning out the good stuff this last while. So I know this sounds like a shameless plug, but that Weekly Droner asked about it. And yeah, especially over the course of the holidays, there was a lot of great stuff from Wasatch. So go and check it out. Shout out to Wasatch and District. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. And yeah, go and check them out on social media. Definitely one for piping fans, for sure. Good luck. Yeah, keep her lit, as they say in Northern Ireland. All right, JD. We're going to have another one. This makes number 6 for the week. Let's go.
The Weekly Drone.
Weekly Drone. Rab, I get it that over the festive period, you guys use pre-recorded shows to ensure that the show runs for 52 weeks. However, as your intro says, it is the podcast for the bagpipe folk, and we want weekly drones. I don't know about others, but as soon as I hear you say, we don't have any of our normal features this week, I turn it off. We want to hear controversy, scandal, rumors, and the like. That's what the pipe band world thrives on. You always say that there are loads on the shelf and that JD has a young family and it is tricky to get them recorded. But this is what folk want to hear, not meet the Aachen-Schugel White Mice pipe band members. Squeak.
Squeak. Yeah, I went back and checked the Weekly Drone, and it did actually say squeak. Now, as for the pronunciation of Aachen-Schugel, yeah, well done, JD. That was brilliant there. I couldn't have pronounced that. But, hey, that is the entire purpose. I introduced this week's show to tell you we've got listener mail this week. We've got Weekly Drone this week. So that listener, that Weekly Droner, would not switch off, that they would stay tuned. So, hello, Weekly Droner. I hope that you're still tuned in. Hopefully. Folks, I don't know. We've done that pretty much since the show started. Every time the holidays roll around, yeah, we do take a bit of a break. All of ourselves in the Rab Show team, I don't know. I don't want to say that I feel that we deserve the break, but whenever you're producing this podcast every week of every month of every year, it does weigh on you after time. You know, I'm like, this is episode 470 without missing a single week. I think we're okay. If we do manage to produce some specialist episodes every now and again so we can kind of get our bearings. So as for spending time with friends and family over the course of the holiday, I think it was definitely needed by not just members of the team, but by myself included, you know, because I can come out here to the Rab Show studios in my garage, and instead of switching on the mic and all my screens and everything, I could just get my pipes out of the case and have a tune for a half hour or so. set them back and say, that was a good practice. And then go back into the house and have a cup of tea. I don't have to worry about writing scripts, researching stories, emailing guests, and like lining up, videoing competitions and all of that, and then who's going where at what time and what's on the show this week, what mail are we reading, what weekly drone do we have, has JD been recording stuff, where is it, here it is, yep, we'll get it all edited and put down, what's this week's topic of the week, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's just good to get a break. So, I don't know, I guess with that weekly droner, we can't please everyone. As soon as you hear that it's a specialist episode and you switch off, I think you're missing a trick right there. We've had some stellar specialist episodes over this past while, and anytime that we are going to take a bit of a break and we do produce a specialist episode like that to cover us over the holidays, so you guys aren't left with nothing, and you do have something entertaining, hopefully, to see you through the holidays, yeah, we do put in a lot of work on those. As I've said, that episode with Rob Matheson, Bob Worrell, and Andrew Bertoff all took months of development to actually bring to the air. Now, I know some people think, I come out here to the studio, click record, and just talk crap. And sometimes that's true. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, there is a lot of thought put in behind each episode, what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, and then does it help the scene or does it hurt the scene in any way? We always try to bring our coverage in the best balanced way possible to try and help the scene wherever possible. And we did think that those 3 episodes that we produced over the holidays were valuable. I did think that they were entertaining in their own right, but also that they helped the scene in some way. I was at practice there this week, just on Monday night there, and the amount of people that says, Rob, listen to that episode, that was all sorts of, I learned a pile, and hey, brilliant. That's what I like to hear. When people stop me and go, hi, see that episode, it was great. Equally so, though, I do like it when people stop me and said, see that episode you done with that was rubbish. Don't do that again. I do like that as well, because then that gives me constructive criticism. As for this one, telling us that we shouldn't take a break over the holidays, Weekly Droner, I respectfully disagree. However, yeah, I do take my lumps that if you folks out there agree with our Weekly Droner, you can let us know. Email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Do you believe that we should be able to take a break over the holidays and produce some specialist episode for you folks? Or would you rather that we continue keeping the wheel turning and, giving you news and updates over the course of the holidays? Let us know. All right, so that's listener mail, weekly drone, and all of that taken care of. That's 6 of them for this week. Yeah, I think I can draw a line under it. There is more on the shelf, believe it or not, but I think I'm going to draw a line there. That's half an hour worth of an intro. This is going to be an epic podcast of huge proportions, and we've got a huge topic to get into as well with Winter Storm. All right, folks, time for me to take a little break at this point, and I'll be right back with all of the news and updates, of which there is too many. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk.
Okay, folks, time for the news and updates. Now, I'm very keenly aware that we have missed a lot of action over the past 3 weeks. We've already alluded to that. There's been so much happening in the piping scene that would make your head spin. Now, on this week's show, we're going to do our best to hit some of the big news stories that you should probably already be aware of. But if you're not, then we're definitely going to try and draw your attention to it. Now, this week's news and updates has been quite comprehensive, and we've been working on this now for a few weeks, and we've invited along some quite special guests to kind of unpack these news stories as we came upon them. And, there's a lot to get into, folks. So, first of all, I'm going to keep things a little bit closer to home. I'm going to focus on something that's happened here recently for the Northern Irish piping scene, and, we've got a story to tell. So, you might have seen a little news story that dropped, just a few days ago, where the Northern Ireland branch announced its full calendar for 2026. Now, I know we've got stick in the past about our show being very Northern Irish-centric, but there is a list here that really does need attention because the amount of piping action on offer is insane. It's going to be a very busy year this year. So, we took opportunity to invite Aaron McElwain on the show to tell us all about this. Aaron, how you doing, mate? Are you well?
I'm not too bad, Rab. How are you?
This is so exciting. I'm really happy.
Well, that's obviously the first hurdle then.
Yeah. Well, the full calendar, it kicks off from the 21st of February all the way through to October. So it's a full-on year. Like, there's dates all across here. But the first one, obviously, I want to chat to you about is the 75th Gala event in the Lamont Hotel. Tell us about this.
Okay, so obviously the Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association Northern Ireland branch was formed officially as a branch of the then Scottish Pipe Band Association back in 1950. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's a good while ago, 75 years. There's different things about the history of the dates and stuff. So, but its general consensus is it was sort of around the end of that year. Right. So effectively, we are 75 years, and obviously part of that was that we wanted to do a number of things to mark that. So obviously our campaign of RSPBA NI 75. Is underway. You've seen different things coming up about it, just the logo and stuff coming out, just starting
and graphics and stuff. And
one of the big sort of aspirations of the branch executive a number of months ago was things that we needed to do for this, and one of the main things that came up was to have a formal gala. Right. A bit sort of a chance for everybody to get together, dressed up in their finery, in a proper setting, with dinner, dancing, celebration, and our big emphasis on it's a celebration. It's not a pipe band concert. It's not a competition. These are things that we're already doing and we're seeing all the time. So this was something a wee bit different to mark the special occasion. So a lot of work behind the scenes with a number of people, and we've got the gala well underway. It's not far out as we're recording this, so the tickets are on sale. It's going to be a good night. It's a great hotel, great
it's
venue.
A real swanky place. I was going to say
it's lovely. It's really, really nice, and I really like it as a place. And we're really looking forward to it. So tickets are on sale now on our website, or rspbani.org/book-tickets.
There you go.
And you can get on. Obviously, tickets are priced singly, but if you're taking, say, like a table of 10, there's a price reduction there. Book them all at the same time, and then we'll be able to make sure that everybody's accommodated on that table and stuff and things like that. So we've got live music band on the evening. We're going to have a charity raffle. I'm pleased to see that the proceeds of the raffle this year is going to ourselves as the charity, but we are focusing that attention on our future. So we've celebrated the 75 years. We're in the present now, and what we're doing is already looking to the future. So our pipe band, College Northern Ireland, the proceeds are going to go to that. That's tomorrow's pipers, drummers, and drum majors. So we really wanted to put a bit of emphasis onto that. So it will be a fantastic night. People need to get on and get their tickets booked.
There you go.
That's really what I want.
It'll be very popular for sure. But black tie and all of that, very swanky. Red carpet, full works.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So that kicks things off then, 21st of February. But then we get into the actual playing and the music of everything then. 21st of March, we have the McDonald Memorial Juvenile Solos in Drumore.
Yeah, we're really pleased to see that coming back. And it is an all credit to the McDonald Memorial pipe band that they do put on their juvenile solo competition. It's a chance for our younger members. It's given them that ability to get playing time in front of an adjudicator and the stress of that. And it really is. It is so important for them, and all credit to the band for organising that.
Absolutely.
We're happy enough to support them in whatever way we can.
And to all those youngsters, good luck to you. You haven't got long left to prepare now, so good luck. But one thing, had me quite excited actually. The 17th and 18th of April sees two quite stellar solo events quite close together. Now, this is exciting because on the 17th in Cookstown, we have the UK Solo Drumming Championships. And then the next day, if you want to hang around, you can compete in the Ulsters. So that's two big competitions back to back, Aaron.
Yeah, so traditionally from the World Solo Drumming Circuit and the major solo championships launched in the last few years, the Northern Ireland branch has been privileged to host the United Kingdom solo drumming for the association. And we had traditionally put that in September. However, we made a change this year and moved it into this side of the season.
Yeah.
And we have coincided the two events with our two solo championships together. So the United Kingdom Championships will be on the Friday evening. So we thought it was something that we would effectively try. It's not something that we've done before. But the reason being is that it gives players in the major circuit, the major solo circuit, the opportunity to take part in that and enter that. It has its qualifications for the World Solo Drumming semi-finals and stuff in October, and it's part of that whole sort of circuit of events run by the association in Glasgow.
Yeah.
But it gave those people the opportunity to come across and see Northern Ireland. And then also get the opportunity to take part in the Ulster Solo Championships, the Ulster Solo Piping and Drumming Championships. It's our flagship solo event within the Northern Ireland branch. So, and it is very successful, as you know. It's been going. So, we're really privileged to be able to host the UK Solo Drumming Championships. So why not give it that opportunity to have it? And I know it is a bit strange for some people and sort of looking at going, Friday night. But when you've got people over and you've people all focused on it anyway, it's that opportunity, to stay and make a weekend of it and enjoy that. Because the other part, we've got the solo playing, but it's also usually for most people the first opportunity for everybody to see each other again. So there's a lot of catching up to do. And, the other part of our piping, and drumming, it's the friendships that we build and the crack that we have together. And sometimes that can be a bit stressful on the day and nobody gets really a big opportunity to do that. So why not make it that people have got that opportunity to make a weekend of it and enjoy it? And helpful for anybody coming from overseas, they can then make that trip. It's one flight there and back. Whereas
one evening somewhere,
they can take part in both events and take them both in on the same time. So we're really looking forward to that, and we know it's going to be a good success. The entries for those solo championships will be opened sometime soon. We're just getting the calendar finalized, but with all of this, the biggest and most important thing was to start getting the events out to people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
although we haven't got the entries open yet, that's fine. There's more than enough time for that. It's locking these dates into people's heads, and they're seeing that it's
Into the
on,
calendars.
and
Yeah.
they can book travel, they can book time off work and things like that. So that was it. But no, it will be a big success, and it's everybody focused in that solo mode then at that time of the year. So yeah, it's going to be good.
That was a real exciting booking, that one. Now, the rest of the calendar is there. You can go and view it. Now, it kicks things off at the bands with the indoor championships in County Down. That's making a return to Dromore. And then we're to Fermanagh, and then we're in Mid-Ulster, etc. There's a full packed calendar there, along with all of our major championships, which are in the books as well. So I'm sure everyone like me is booking time off work for all of those. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to realise, we have our full traditional 5 major championships
Full
back,
5, yeah. That's a big deal.
and that's testament to the entire team, within the association that have worked hard to try and get this sorted and get it back to, not just to have it number 1 in Northern Ireland, but to actually have the 5 championships. It is getting so much harder to get these events together. So all credit to the CEO, Colin Mulhern, and the directors and the team in Glasgow for getting it. And the fact that it's in Northern Ireland, I'm speaking on behalf of the Northern Ireland branch. We are more than happy that it's on our doorstep. And, with thanks to the Ulster Scots Agency, with funding coming from Belfast City Council, we're just pleased to see it coming back, this side of the Irish Sea. And I'm sure our bands from Scotland, they're pleased. They love the trip over,
For sure, yeah.
So it is going to be good. So that's good. It's important to note just as well, when we're talking there, Rab, the County Fermanagh Championships organised by the County Fermanagh section this year it's in Irvinstown, which is not that far from Enniskillen. The traditional Broad Meadow, which we've been going to for decades, it's under redevelopment at the moment. So all fair credit to our County Fermanagh section. They have secured a new location for this year in Irvinstown, so we're looking forward to that. Myself, I enjoy the trip down to the lake to the Lakelands. It just gets me out of the big city of Bangor.
There you go. Well, I know a lot of people are looking at this and booking time off, but I'm glad you mentioned the UK's. The amount of messages I got from folks saying, "Oh, Rab, I'm booking flights and I'll be over to Northern Ireland. Time to go and get a pint." So the amount of people that didn't get that chance over the last few years, they're now getting that opportunity. So it's brilliant to see. But full credit to the HQ people who made all of this happen. And we were talking about this on Fuse actually last night about, well done to everyone for pulling this out of the bag. This is not easy. So, full credit. Rolling things on to the very end of the season, then we have the All-Ireland solos, the World Drumming solos. All of that is up there.
Again, when you get into that sort of September time, we go back into a bit of solo mode. So, I know that certainly for a lot of our drummers, once the season ends, with the outdoor season, they're starting to focus on, the world. It's all ending with the World Solo Drumming Championships. So we're pleased that the JAC's All Ireland Solos again is hosted it this year in Northern Ireland. So that will be in Cookstown, and again the Down Academy pipe band, they are running their juvenile solos the week before. Again, it's given that the juvenile players those runs out and things like that. So it's all good, full calendar is there. The dates are locked in. Those dates are there. Most of the listeners, Rab, as you know, will say that there's some that say to be announced on them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about those. What's the story with them?
So just with the way that funding models work, with local councils, we have a lot of work done right sort of from last year with the applications in and all the organisation that goes on with that. Those things are all in the works. We've got the dates secured with those councils, and obviously all the paperwork needs to be sorted out. And yourself until it's signed on the dotted line. So we basically know that these things are happening now. We obviously caveat everything, and these dates were announced back at the AGM. The big major caveat is all events and dates can be subject to change. We have to stress that. And that's the same with any event, let's be honest. It is always there every year. We give that warning every year. We haven't had major problems in the past ever. So it's just there. Those dates are locked in for our branch competitions locally. And the reason why I don't have the venues on is just we want to make sure that those are all signed and sealed and delivered by the councils, and then we'll be able to announce which ones are happening where on which dates. And again, there's still a little bit of movement of which ones are on which date, and it's just working with individual councils to get those things all confirmed. And I'm pleased to say that the contest team within the branch and the project, obviously, they're working hard on that every day. It's there's things to be doing on that. So the most important thing is the dates. We wanted people to be aware of the dates so they could book their time off, book their leave, book things like that. And we promise we will update everybody as soon as we get the word. We will have that stuff out there so that people know, oh, I can book accommodation that weekend and wherever, things like that. So it's all good. We are also pleased to see that the return of our Champion of Champions contest the week after the Worlds.
After the Worlds, I was going to say about that.
So that is going to happen, and
that's going to be some crack out there.
Yeah,
it's
to round it off locally. We did that in Northern Ireland, and just the last few years that hasn't taken place. But it's that chance mostly to announce our Champion of Champions locally. That means an awful lot to a lot of our bands.
It does.
But also we get to welcome any prospective new world champions,
fingers crossed,
and be in their presence. And we are very, very hopeful. In fact, we have got some of the best pipe bands and drum majors in this world. We know that our own locals will bring back the silverware. And we want to have that proud moment to sort of congratulate them. So there is a full calendar there, and the dates are locked in, and it's time to just get ready for it all.
Absolutely. Aaron, thanks so much for taking time to chat with us on the show. And for all of that information, go to rspbani.org and you can have a look at that. It has gone kind of viral. It's went everywhere on social media.
Great.
Yeah, but Aaron, I have to say, on a personal level, it's great to have you back on the show, mate. The voice of Weekly Drone.
It's been a while, yes. I don't know if everybody's happy that, I was the original Weekly Drone, but no, it's
You ever miss doing the Weekly Drones?
I don't, Rab.
No.
The reason being is that I am so busy at the moment doing not only my own full-time job, but with looking after marketing and media for the branch and for my sins. Well, I say for my sins, it's not. It's something that I'm actually happy. The Pipe Band College Northern Ireland, we're working very closely with all our centre coordinators to continue the development of the college. So that takes up a good lot of my time the moment, and it's a labour of love, let's be honest. But it's a pleasure to be back on the show. Obviously, I listen every week to the podcast, and when I can get the Fuse Show listened to, and all credit to yourself and your team, that you are still carrying on doing this just for the love of it. Let's be honest, we all do this for the love of it.
That's it, man. Yeah,
because none of us are millionaires out of it.
Absolutely not. No, I haven't got a Ferrari parked out front there. No.
Well, I wouldn't want a Ferrari, possibly a McLaren, but definitely a McLaren. But no, it's good. Thanks very much for taking the time to reach out about this, and we'll continue, and we'll be back in touch throughout the season.
Absolutely.
So best of luck to you. Best of luck to you on everything that you're doing this season, and let's all work together and enjoy it.
It's going to be full on, mate. This is quite a packed calendar, but I'm dead excited for it. It's going to be good. Yeah.
See you on the grass, Rab.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks. So you might have heard of a little concert that's happening this weekend in sunny Glasgow. It's part of Celtic. And for piping fans, we all know exactly what's happening this weekend in Glasgow. So we're going to talk about this huge concert. So, joining us on the show to tell us all about it, first of all, would you like to introduce yourselves, folks? Starting with Callum.
Yeah, how you doing, folks? Callum Kay here. I'll be playing the pipes in this brilliant concert. On the 17th of January, live and well, a concert that means a lot to, I think, most of us that are taking part in it. So we're all thrilled to be taking part in it, and it's going to be brilliant.
Oh, and you're not nervous in the slightest, Callum? No.
Well, ask me 5 minutes before we go on and I might give you a different answer, but it's just excitement at the moment, you know.
Yeah. But we also have Stuart Cassell's MC on the evening. Yeah, you're joining us here as well. Are you looking forward to it?
Absolutely. Delighted to be there to see this again. I was there 30 years ago. I was kind of behind the scenes. I wasn't playing on the concert myself, but I was starting to get close to the Vale of Atholl Pipe Band. I was very close to Andy Wright, who's playing this weekend as well. Back in those days, we used to compete against each other. To go to a few Vale practices, and in the following season I joined the band. And obviously my biggest hero at that particular time, two people actually, one was Pink Major Ian Duncan and the other one was Gordon Duncan. They were my heroes when I was 14, 15 years old, so to join the band was a big thing. And I was behind the scenes for Live and Well to the point where Andy Wright was doing the solo. He did the solo at that particular time, and he wanted to keep his pipes for the band, obviously, so I gave him my pipes. So when you hear him playing the solo, he's playing my solo pipes.
Oh, they're your pipes? Oh,
on that album, which was great, which I always thought was pretty cool from that point of view. I kept him warmed up for him, and then he obviously just jumped into the band right after that as well. But what a great player he was, so great to see him playing again in the band.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and also looking after the drumming side of things. Like, introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, so my name's Ryan King, and I've been privileged to being asked to come along and kind of keep the legacy of my family member James King, who was the legendary leading drummer of the concert on that night. So extremely proud moment for me to be able to stand in his shoes, so to speak. I don't think I'll be able to drink the same as he did, but I'll certainly try and give it a good bash. But it'll be good to kind of play some nostalgic scores and break out some of the classics again.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to get into the weeds with you. Some of those scores, mate. Some of them are iconic. Yeah. But also, of course, needs no introduction. Ian Duncan is joining us on the show. Ian, how are you, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm a bit nervous, right, about the concert, right enough, but I can't remember much about it because we seem to be doing concerts like 4 or 5 a year, and Motherwell was just another one, but it was the World's Week. I don't think we were the first band to do the World's Week concert. Motherwell Civic Centre. Was it the 6th or the 9th of August? I can't mind, but it was just exciting times. Everybody at the top of their game, and working with Jim King as leading drummer was just like a pipe major's dream. You know, able to reproduce music that I'd never done before. So it's exciting. And I'm looking forward to it.
And it was a big moment. You know, if anything, my memory of the Vale is whenever you first came to Ballymena, and that was in 1990, I think it was. I want to say.
No, I think it was 88. We did 3 Ballymena concerts in 5 years, actually. Aye. I remember vividly the third concert. It was christened Third Time Lucky. So.
There you go. So I do have real distinct memories of seeing you guys in Ballymena, and I thought, wow, they're playing again, but it's in Motherwell, and it was like miles away from me. So, but no, and then I was so glad at that time that it was produced into an album that has now become iconic with piping fans. If you haven't actually heard the album, you need to go and get a copy of it. It is still available. But Ian, I do believe that the music from that night still absolutely stands up today. Have you had a chance to listen back to it all?
Only in recent times. I'm not a great listener to my own albums, really. But it was nearly a double album because it was a huge concert. It finished at 12:30, and it was nearly a double album. The only one a block on the double album was Ian Green tracks. He said people don't buy double albums; they're just too expensive, and so. But there's a vast amount of stuff that the rest of you haven't heard, unless you were there in the night.
Yeah, stuff that hit the cutting room floor. Yeah, but now we're heading back on stage and revisiting that material again. I'm so excited for this. This is such a huge moment. So can someone tell me about where the idea came from? That, you know, the whole ethos of bringing this show back to the stage again. Can someone tell me about that?
It's very simply Ross Ainsley.
Oh, really?
I had no idea. I had no idea it was 30 years since we did the concert, and and he put it to Donald Shaw. I think it was Donald, the director of Celtic Connections. Mm-hmm. Donald was all for it. He didn't have a pipe band anyway for January, and I wasn't really very sure, because at 75 I wasn't sure if I could actually cope with the whole concert. I maybe still can't. I'll see. I might drop out for a couple of sets. So I just needed people that I ran it past Stuart Liddell and Ben Duncan, and they were just all so excited about it, and they're really the main people. And Callum was the next target at the Inverary dinner and piping live, and Callum's mum played in the concert. You know, she was one of my star pipers. So, and it seemed to mushroom just during piping live, and before I knew it, I had a pipe corps.
You had a full band waiting then, but
piping live, and a few recruits at Station Bar as well. So.
Oh, excellent. So, Callum, getting that call up then and joining the new pipe corps, I guess, for this hand-picked band. Yeah, I guess you're excited to join the ranks then.
Yeah, well, I think as Ian touched on earlier, it was a kind of piping live conversation. I think it might have been the Station Bar of all places. The place where many great ideas are born and die, I'm sure. But I'm totally thrilled. This album, it means a lot to me in terms of. It was probably the main one. It's certainly one of maybe 2 or 3 albums that were the main sources of inspiration for me when I was growing up. I listened to infinite amount of times. So to get the chance to go and play this stuff is brilliant. It's going to be a great honour. And as I say, I know all the stuff anyway. I've known it all my whole life. You know, looking at music for tunes that I'd already previously learned just by a year. So what can go wrong?
So we've established a pipe corps has been standing waiting, but let's talk about the drumming end. Brian, did you get the job then of gathering drummers all together for this?
Yeah, so it was a kind of joint effort, to be fair. I know Ian had done some conversations beforehand as well, drumming up some interest, pun intended. In terms of that, I know I'm here all week. So just wanted to try and, I did reach out to a few members of the previous corps, former field players. Sadly, some of them were unavailable to play, had their commitments and things like that as well. So, we'll be able to establish, I feel a nice little drum corps. Nothing too mad for a concert. We like to try and replicate how it was in the 90s, when it was a bit of a smaller drum corps and try and go for a bit of a bigger sound on the stage. So, it'll be good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I did tell you I was going to get into these drum scores. Some of the scores from that show, man, they absolutely stand up today. I don't know. I'm a drummer who wants to be a piper. People keep me going, oh, you're a piper now. No, some of the drum scores, there's bound to be some favourites in there for you that have been fun to play.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Fun's a funny word. Trying to get my head around some of it is quite fun. But no, it's been good. All joking aside, the scores themselves, like you say, the kind of stuff that you wrote at the time, you like to be awkward for the sake of being awkward, which is quite apparent in some of the drum scores. But no, there's a lot of kind of favourites in there. You obviously talk about Alpaco. It's been one of the main ones. But one that I've actually been kind of enjoying and sort of almost been kind of playing away on my desk and at working that subconsciously is Gargoyles recently. So
I love that.
It's been a nice wee drum score to get my hands around as well. So there's plenty rhythmical stuff happening.
Oh, for sure. So no spoilers as to who exactly is going to be in the back line and everything, but you have full midsection, full complement of people all set to go. Yeah?
Yes, we've got a nice wee core assembled, so hopefully it'll all come off on the day, and it should hopefully do it justice as it did 30 years ago.
Excellent. So I'm looking forward to it. So, Stuart, you're bound to have some very interesting stories from behind the scenes to tell the audience at the show. Have you got any kind of spoilery territory?
I was supposed to actually catch up with Ian and I got caught up with work today, so I'm going to catch up with Ian properly over the next couple of days, and hopefully between the two of us we can remember a few things that happened. As I was quite young when it all obviously happened. I like to say I'm still young, but maybe not so much. But yeah, I was kind of 14, 15 when the concert happened. And what I can remember, obviously I was close to the band, was just how incredible the level of playing actually was across all of the band. You know, I mentioned obviously Callum's mum. You know, I stood next to her in the band. You know, she was an incredible bagpiper. But then all the way through the band, whether it be Andy Rennick, whether it be Adrian Cram, whether it, you know, people who'd been in the band a long, long period of time. You know, so I was a bit of a outcomer coming from, you know, other bands. I come from Trafficking and Bathgate, we just got to give a grade 1 the year before. And I went to, so it was a band that was well established. The guys in the band had been all playing together for a long period of time. And I mean, honestly, I was just blown away with just the level of musicianship. And they were absolute musicians as well. You know, I mean, I've played with some other bands after that and things where they had 2 medleys and 2 MSRs and maybe a couple of 6/8s, and that's pretty much all they had.
That was
it. Never the case with the Real Other Pipe band. I loved the fact, probably, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, we used to play maybe the MSR once, and we'd do 2 runs through the medley. And then the rest of the band practice was on everything else. You know, all of the concert stuff we had, as Ian said, we always had a concert. Oh, and I actually did the solo at the next concert after Live and Well, which was in Annan. It was about 4 months later. And I think you can see it on YouTube and stuff doing that with the band. There's elements of that. So it's the same kind of concert that we did about 4 months later. And the band always had new material, always had new stuff. And we actually didn't really put that much time into the competition element of it. And it's not to say we didn't take it seriously. We wanted to do well in the competition, but we're just so, I would say, gifted in terms of the players, the pipers in the band. They could jump between very, very easily. And that's not always the case. But that was the standard of bagpiper in the band. And then, to give you a great example of it, our medley finished with electric chopsticks at that particular time.
Yeah.
And Ian changed it on the Tuesday before the Saturday. And we had to then play Good Drying at the end. We hadn't practiced in this at all year. And then all of a sudden we went from the end to the end, and then we just went back into the rest of we played all season, you know, doing the minors, and we finished at the end of Electric Chopsticks, and here we were playing in the Worlds, playing just a brand, and we literally changed it on. I don't know how it worked for the drummers. It must have been really difficult for Jim and the rest of the band, the drummers, to do that. And the other thing then, the following year, if you remember this, Ian, we then again changed the medley around 10 days before the Worlds entirely. We changed the entire medley.
That close to the big
10 days before the Worlds. Davy Barnes came in and wrote a medley called The Banner Quest. And that's what we played the following year. And we literally changed the whole. There was only one tune that we actually knew, which was The Panda, which is one of Gordon's tunes. And the rest of the medley was brand new. And we got that maybe, as I say, 10 days before the World.
10 days?
And we played at the Worlds. I think the band played. I'd left after that point. I was starting to have problems with my hands at that point, to be fair. And went off to play in grade 4 to find myself. And the band continued to play, I think, The Banner Quest, so I think you can still hear it, but it was the following year, I think you get it. That was, yeah. So, I mean, that was the Vale of Atholl Pipe Band. I mean, it was so musical, so different, and that's why I first bought No Reservations, or was given No Reservations when I was 9 years old, and that was me. I wanted to be in the Vale of Atholl Pipe Band.
There you go. Yeah, and the rest is history, as they say. But, Ian, I think that kind of speaks volumes to the standard of musicians that you had at the band in that time, during the Live and Well era, if you know what I mean. To be able to change sets 10 days before the Worlds, that's crazy. But I guess that does speak volumes, doesn't it?
I suppose we were always having fun, and the players were all at the top of their game. You know, the pipes and working with Jim is just it was just a godsend. You know, he was right up for it. He was right up for it, and Yeah, I didn't realise it was 9 days, Stuart. I thought it was maybe a bit longer. It was pretty dangerous, but we got away with it. But starting an intro during the high G is bad enough, right enough.
Yeah. But that was.
So Ian, just heard that as well to show you the level of the players in that band. We never once used a drone tuner, which in those days everybody had drone tuners. Everybody just could tune their own drones, and they all just knew what the pitch was, and they came in.
Wow.
Looked around it.
Adrian and Gordon and Andy Rennick would do a wee tweak, behind as well, and get the drones in. But yeah,
there you go.
No drone tuner. No,
there's no many bands that can say that now. That's for sure. Yeah,
just the logs.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it all in action this weekend. But for anyone who hasn't yet got tickets, you can go CelticConnections.com, and hopefully this little button that says buy now on the website is still available, because I dare say this show will absolutely sell out in a heartbeat. So, 17th of January, Glasgow Royal Concert Hall, live and well. This is going to be one heck of a show.
I think the feeling ahead of this weekend is, I think there's a bit of nerves. I think naturally there will be. Getting on the big stage is always a bit nerve-wracking. But I think, the good thing about this sort of concert, this piece, this vibe, it is all about having fun. And I think that's the kind of ethos that's kind of spread through this group of musicians for a long time. So I think it's going to be a good laugh and a good bit of fun. And so I think that's going to be the most important part.
Yeah, for sure. And Stuart, for yourself, being MC on the evening, that could be nerve-wracking in itself. But I think, are you looking forward to it too?
Absolutely. I've probably got the easy job, to be fair. I'm not on the stage to remember the tunes and remember the breaks and things, so I can really enjoy myself and hopefully can just share a few of the background stories without taking over too much, and obviously remembering that we have to be out of the concert hall at some point as well. So just really excited to be part of it again and to hear it again.
Oh, for sure. And Ian, for yourself, stepping out, I'm sure this weekend's going to be a really exciting affair.
Aye, palpitations, no doubt, and a bit nervous. I'll be getting a lot of help from Stuart Liddell, Ben Duncan, Ross Harvey, Duncan Nicholson, to name but a few. So they'll take the pressure off, and hope the old heart will just slow down a wee bit once I get going.
Well, I've heard those guys they're quite handy with the set of pipes as well. So
they're quite handy with the set of pipes and lugs and and so on. It'll be over in a flash. I know that. Yeah.
That's it too. Yeah, it'll go in a blink. So just enjoy every moment of it. Yeah, for sure.
Will do. Yeah.
And Callum, excited and nervous in equal measure yourself, mate?
Yeah, I think mostly excited at this point. As I say, I think I know the stuff. I should know the stuff. I've listened to it enough times. That'll be tested very shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, mostly excitement. It's just such a great thing that this is happening. Of course, there was the 30th anniversary concert for the 78's Live in Ireland concert a few years back. Same set, Celtic Connections. For me, everyone's got an album that sort of inspired them when they grew up. This is the one for me. So this is a really big deal for me personally. I'm sure everyone in the band would kind of echo those sentiments. So it's going to be great. So get yourself along, basically. That's all.
Get yourself there. Exactly. Well, I'm going to give my own little flavour of it as well. I think similar to the experience with the revisiting of the 70th, I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, I was all excited to see the show and I was buzzing, but what I found is that it was kind of emotional in a way to hear it live. Like putting a CD on or a record on, that's one thing, but to actually be there and hear it in the room happening in front of you, that's completely different. And it really hit home. I was going, wow, I wasn't there in 87, but was this what it was like? So I'm hoping people have that experience with Live and Well. So yeah, go now, go and grab your tickets. Lightning very rarely strikes twice, so go and catch it when you can. Everyone, thank you for joining us on the show, and I wish you the best for this weekend. It's going to be a great crack.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good on, Ray.
You are. So a massive thank you to Ryan, to Callum, Ian, and to Stuart for joining us and telling us all about Live and Well. This concert is going to be the stuff of legend. And can I just add in here, I don't know, by way of a Brucey bonus, all of the people who are going to be hitting the stage as part of this concert this weekend are all doing so voluntarily. Not one of them is receiving a paycheck. No one's getting paid here. They are all there for the love of the music. In fact, the event itself is actually raising money for charity. So, full credit to everyone who's going to be hitting that stage. This event, I can't oversell it enough. Okay. So, the charity in question actually will be the Ailey McLeod Trust and the Gordon Duncan Trust as well. So, we are hoping that this will raise a ton of money for charity. And, full credit to all of the players who are on stage thumping out tunes. And, we're really excited for it. So, if you are anyways curious, please do run out and grab tickets now if you still can. And that's a big precursor. If you still can. I don't know if they are still available yet. I haven't checked the site tonight. But there are little clips and little teasers of what the guys have been working on, and this looks so exciting. So, Live and Well, it's going to be an epic gig. All right, let's move on. Next news story. Okay, seeing how we're talking about concerts and gigs and all of that stuff, folks, there is so much happening in concert season. Right now, I know this is just the start of January, and we do have Winter Storm this weekend, and we have Celtic Connections, and what we just spoke about there with Live and Well. There's been tons of other concert announcements all across the scene over the course of the holidays. One, notably so, had a lot of people going, what? Real? Yeah, wow. So, there's been a huge announcement from People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate. They are heading back to the stage, thanks to Bucksburn District, who are hosting the event. Yeah, People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate and the Aberdeen Music Hall Cabaret. Oh, baby, it's back again. Now, for those of you that did manage to see this show at the pre-Worlds concert and probably bought the album, the book, the vinyl, the T-shirt, all of that, I know I might be one of those people. Anyway, but yes, for those of you who did get all that stuff and you were there, that was absolute lightning in a bottle. That show was absolutely legendary. And we thought, that's it. You're never going to see that again. It's a one-off. That's it. Lightning in a bottle. But here it's back again. You get a chance to go and see it again. So this is, 2nd of May. Can't come quick enough. This event will absolutely sell out if it hasn't already. So please go along to the Aberdeen Music Hall box office, or you can contact any member of Bucksburn and District Pipe Band and they can point you in the right direction as to where to get your tickets. People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate are bringing their Cabaret concert back to the stage. And if you missed it first time round, I can't stress enough, you need to be here and see it for yourself. Now, for those of us who were there in Glasgow, this is a chance to see it again. Now, I've already been looking at flights and hotels and stuff. I want to go to this. So, I kind of use that as a rule of thumb. If I want to go to it, I'm sure everybody else will want to go to that as well. So get that date in your diary as well, folks, when we're talking about concert season. People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, Caledonia, back in the Aberdeen Music Hall with Cabaret. That's exciting right there. Now, not only that, but we have the Kids with Cancer Charity Night. That's fast approaching as well. Yeah, tickets for that are available right now. You can contact Gary Smith direct and get your tickets. And yes, we've mentioned this on Fuse many times. The featured band on the night are Police Scotland Fife. This is all happening at the Royal Hotel in Cookstown on the 28th of March. Doors open at 5 p.m. and you're going to be treated to a full night of blistering, piping and drumming and drum majoring and all sorts of other shenanigans. Yeah, there's a lot happening here with the Kids with Cancer Night. We spoke about it on Fuse, of course, just last night. A lot of people very keen to get tickets for this. And I did get a text message or two from people saying that they believe that this is the first time that Police Scotland Fife has actually played a concert here. Now, I don't know, is that true? Or is it...
Stuff the Rab got wrong.
It's a good question. I don't know, but you guys were texting in last night and telling me that that was the case. But Police Scotland Fife. Now, we know they can tear up a stage. Come on. Did I need to remind you about the concert they had last year? Oh, my word. Yeah, the videos from that are up on our YouTube channel, and some exclusives to our Patreon faithful as well from that gig. That's exciting. But yeah, Police Scotland Fife will be in concert in Northern Ireland, in Cookstown, for the kids with cancer now. Now, of course, you guys will always ask the question, will there be any live stream? No, there won't be. So if you do want to see it, you do need to be there in person. But I'm sure after the event has happened, there will be the odd little video clip from the event itself, because we will be filming performances and behind-the-scenes kind of stuff for Patreon. That'll all go up there on our socials. So, yeah, for those of you who can't make it on the night, yes, we will have little clips. But, yeah, my advice, go and grab tickets, help raise some money for charity. And, yeah, the Kids Cancer Unit there in the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, it's a very worthy charity. The Children's Cancer Unit charity, and well worth your support. So I'm dead excited to see it this year. It's going to be so good. Now, we will talk more about the Kids with Cancer Night as we get closer to that date. We will have a full preview on offer as well. We'll hopefully catch up with some of the acts as well as they're preparing for this great concert. So we'll get into all of that. Now, also, I do need to mention there's other concerts aplenty happening right now. There's been tons of announcements. Now, as I mentioned, there's plenty of other concerts and that to be at as well as the Kids with Cancer Night. As we mentioned earlier in Weekly Drone, Clough-Finn and Tullylagan both have concerts to be at. Folks, there's so much happening in concert season, so that'll probably be talked more in future pods. But if your band does have a fundraiser, a concert, anything like that coming up, please do get in contact with us and we'll certainly promote it here on our show and let you all know about it. All right, let's fly on.
I have been at the greenwood, mother, make my bed soon, for I'm wearied way hunting, and I fain would lie.
So, for our next little news item is quite an exciting fundraising effort that's happening right now. And joining us on the show is Donald Lindsay to tell us all about it. Hi, Donald. How you going?
Hello, Rob. Hi. Doing very well, thanks. How are you?
The best, mate. The best. So tell us about this fundraiser that you have running at the moment. What's this all about?
So it's called Honeymoon Bridge, and that's the title of an album that we're going to be putting together. We're going to be recording in April. It'll be myself and Rue Geddes. And potentially, it's gone really well so far. So potentially, depending on how it goes in the last couple of days, we might have some guests as well with us. So we're going to be recording an album of tunes and songs. So we're going to be using the chanter, the Lindsay system chanter. Some of your listeners are probably familiar with it. It's got extra range, so it plays over 2 octaves. And as you can imagine, that makes it very versatile for accompanying yourself when you're singing.
Oh, absolutely. And if anything, you've been playing this chanter on your socials this last while and drawing quite a bit of attention because of it, of that added range. So for those folks who aren't aware of the Lindsay system, can you explain a wee bit about it and how it all operates?
I can do, aye. So it's 10 years old this year, and we're pinning that date on the date that I finished prototyping this chanter back in 2016. I'd been working on it for a few years before that. But in short, basically, it's got about 2.5 to 3 octaves, depending on how you set it up. And of that, the first 2.5 octaves is good for tunes. The last half octave or so is kind of the high range. So we're still working on taming that, if you like. But within this first range of 2.5 octaves, I'm finding that I can play tunes, and it's, as you say, been coming across quite well, I think, in the socials recently.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially for fans in the trad world who are used to hearing pipes being locked in to that one octave, you can't go anywhere else, and that's it. It's very limiting. But to hear that you're able to play tunes that are so much freer, you know, and knocking between octaves effortlessly, it's really cool to listen to. Yeah,
it's very fun, and it's an interesting chanter because it goes down below the usual Scottish small pipes range as well as above, and it does that by doubling back on itself. Now, without going too deep into the acoustics of it here,
Yeah.
the small pipes, the reason why the small pipes were bound to an octave for so long is different to the reason that the Highland pipes, as you know, what you want to get a particular tone quality and harmonic content out of them, and if you slim the reed down too much, you lose all that. But border pipes can go up by maybe 1 or 2 notes because they have that thin reed and they have the thinner sound, and they're designed for that. But the small pipes, their reason for being bound to an octave was different. They are cylindrical in their internal profile, and without going too deep into it, basically that creates a quirk. The clarinet shares the same quirk. It means that if you go into a second register on a small pipe, you don't go up by an octave, you go up by a 12th. So your low G becomes a high D. So there's a gap between your high A and that high D. So I don't know if you're following me so far.
Yeah, you're counting in semitones, really.
Aye.
Yeah.
I'll try not leave. I'll try not take too much of a tangent here. But basically, what this chanter does is it doubles back, and by doubling back, that allows you to reach down to low D.
Right. Yes.
And the free thumb and pinky cover the holes that are needed to do that.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's quite a what would you say? Maybe quite a convoluted design, but it's simpler to play than you would think.
I was going to ask, is it more difficult because there's more to control then?
Aye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's treading similar ground. The Northumbrian pipes use that pinky and thumb as well, but they use keys to add the extra range. Whereas this one, this chanter does it by doubling back on itself and then bringing in just holes for the thumb and the pinky. So that's really the whole of the. That's how it does what it does, and that gets it down to D. And by the time it gets down to E, then the second register of that E is the high B that you're looking for at the top, and you can go on up from there.
It comes back again.
Yeah. So yeah, it doubles back on itself. So you can edit all that out, Rab, because that's probably too too mysterious for radio.
No, I'm loving all this. Yeah, but for those of you who haven't seen or heard the system, there's tons of videos and stuff. Just go and check out Donald on his socials. There's loads of great tracks available, which is why I'm excited for this new album, because I'm sure that this system, I don't know, what's the best way to say this? It gives you more paint for your brush. You know, you've got a wider range of stuff that you could draw from now, I guess.
It does do. And the great thing about it is you don't have to lose your technique in your tunes. The 9 notes, G to A, work the same way. And the rest of it, quite a lot of the rest of it. So I give lessons now on the chanter. And one of the first things that I start with is by saying to the piper that's just started on this chanter, you're going to work your way into the new range 1 note at a time. And you start with high B, which everybody wants, because high B is right away very useful. But most of what you're going to learn comes down to this pinky and thumb. And there are 3 positions only that have to be learned on the thumb. And that makes it all sound very easy. And actually, it is just a matter of exercises and practice. Once you get the hang of the positions the thumb's going to use, and the pinky's easy. It's just covering a wee hole in a block. So you can imagine, so it opens up any time that you've played a tune or tried to adapt a tune to the pipes and you've thought, I could really use the high B, maybe you're working from fiddle music or something and it's got a high B, or maybe it touches a low F sharp below your low G. That's all there. But there are some other interesting things as well as being able to get down to D and up to D at the bottom and top of the bottom of the range. There are 1 or 2 other wee neat things you can do with it. So with this backbore, depending on where you place your thumb and your pinky, you can also do things like playing a grip or a burl, but using an F sharp or an E or a D. So you get this thing, that's a neat wee trick that you can use the chanter for. I don't do that anything like as much as I should yet, but I should bring it in a bit in these videos online, because you get an effect. And I always think it's, if you use it, depending on how you use it, if you've got grips and burls if you're playing in a traditional way and you've got your usual kind of spread of gracing, then it gives you an effect that's almost maybe a wee bit like tuned tenors in the background. Running over, say, 2 or 3 notes. It's quite fun. So there's that kind of thing as well. But as you can imagine, you can play 2 octaves of D, you can play 2 octaves in A, you can play 2 octaves in A, almost 2 octaves in A major as well. So you've got that G sharp as well coming in
there too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it brings in a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to play on the pipes.
Absolutely.
But then in the heart of it, you've got your familiar repertoire and your familiar technique. You don't have to kind of go back to basics in that way.
There you go. Yeah, you're not starting with a complete clean slate. Yeah, you have.
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of the fun things about it. But yeah, I must put more tunes. I'm planning to. Everybody gets a bit kind of distracted over Christmas and New Year, but I'm planning to put some more up, and I'm glad everybody's been enjoying them. I've seen the comments and the likes and so on coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
And, it feels like we're maybe getting rolling with it now. I've had 10 years on it, so that's a fair bit of practice.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So, as soon as we heard about the fundraising effort and this exciting new album that's in the works, then obviously we had to chat to you on the show, because I believe the crowdfunder, if you're listening to this right now on the day of release, I think is closing at the point of release of this episode.
That's the thing. It's closing tonight, basically, isn't it?
Mm-hmm,
it closes at just after 2 a.m. So I'm not sure, what time are we just now going out?
This will probably be around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. UK time, I guess.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
So jump on there.
A few hours.
If you go to crowdfunder.co.uk and search Honeymoon Bridge, then you'll find it. And there's a wee video there, and there's a note of all the rewards that you can choose from. You can dive in and get a copy of the album pre-ordered, and you can browse the chanters that are there. So if you've been thinking about this chanter for a while, you can get a wee discount courtesy of a bit of support from Create Scotland, who I think are keen to see people take this idea. And it's great. I'm really enjoying it. We're making an album, we're spreading the sound of the pipes, and we're also getting more chanters out there into the hands of pipers.
Absolutely. It's no bad thing. Yeah, for sure. So, Donald, keep up the amazing work. We've been huge fans. We've been following it all, and it's just fantastic. I can't
Appreciate it, Rob.
For this new album. So, will you keep us posted as to when it's going to drop?
I will do. So, like I say, I think we're going to be recording in April. And there's been talk of having an uilleann piper play on it. Interestingly, it's Jesse Offgang, who I was in touch with a wee bit over the years, and who is in the Chili Pipers now.
That's right.
So I think he's over and back quite a bit with them now. So we've been talking about when we can fit in a wee session with Jesse. Rue and me will record the bulk of the album in April. And Jesse might drop in then, depends on whether they get booked to play. And I don't know, they were just in Dubai just now. I don't know if they'll be flying past at that time, or it might be a month or two after. But I think we'll definitely have it released by August. So, and hopefully Rue and me will be going on tour in September. I think we're planning on going on tour between the 19th to the 1st, 19th of September to the 1st of October. So we're just lining up dates for that just now. And
fantastic.
If anybody's got if you get dibs in now, if anybody's got a venue and they want to grab us, then we're at that flexible moment where we're still filling in our program.
There you go. Yeah. So drop in your emails, folks. There you go.
Yeah. Smashing.
Thanks so much for taking time to chat with us. This is such an exciting venture. We can't wait to hear the new music and obviously see you on stage now. It's part of your tour as well. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So, that'll be coming up. And absolutely looking forward to sharing the tunes with you, Rab. And I'll keep you posted as to how it all goes.
Excellent stuff. Thanks a million, Donald. Take care. Thank you.
Cheers. You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Okay, going to briefly mention this. Just today, at the point of me recording this, actually, there was an advertisement posted on the Royal New Zealand Pipe Band Association's socials and a video showcasing the National Youth Pipe Band of New Zealand. And the reason behind it is that auditions and applications are now open. So if you do want to be a part of the National Youth Band of New Zealand, now's your opportunity. All applications have to be submitted by Sunday, 8th of February. And you must be aged under 23. So that's me out. Well and truly out. But yeah, if you do want to be a part of that band, and get your applications in now. Go along to the Royal New Zealand Pipe Band Association on their socials, and they've give you all the links and stuff along with what you need to do, playing requirements for your audition. I think it's an MSR, hornpipe jig, usual kind of stuff. But all of that info is all up there. Go and send in your application. Now, I love the way they did this. They didn't just post a link and say, "Hi, send us your paperwork." No, they sent a video, like a documentary that they made. A mini documentary. It's only a few minutes long, but it was fascinating. Hearing from the actual members of the band themselves, talking about the National Youth Band and the benefits of being a part of it. And even, they spoke about their trip to Canada, the tuition that they were provided with, the camaraderie they had with their bandmates. This was brilliant. So it shows the real benefits of programs like this, National Youth Pipe Bands. So, hey, if you do want to be a part of that in New Zealand, there's your opportunity. Deadline for applications, 8th of February. Get them submitted. So, the Masters is such an exciting event that's around the corner, and joining us, we have Cam Lawson to tell us all about it. So, Cam, tell us, the Masters is back again.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited to get on and have a wee chat about the event. So, a bit of background, I've always listened to sort of the original Masters recording for years, and always thought it's such a cool wee part of solo drumming history, and the fact that it only happened sort of that one time, and it was recorded and released and all this sort of cool stuff. And I've always been jealous of solo pipers having so many opportunities throughout, especially the summer. They're out sort of every week, sometimes multiple times a week, at all the games. And, we've got a lot more events now in solo drumming. We've now got the World Solo sort of circuit with the Champion of Champions and stuff like that, and it's awesome. But it's always sort of the same sort of formula, if that makes sense. You're always submitting 2 MSRs, and then the World Solos comes around, and if you're lucky enough to make the final, then you get to play your double hornpipe and jig. But other than that, it's always really sort of just an MSR, other than obviously the Livy Invitational run by Jim Baxter, which is an awesome event that I've been part of for the last few years. And that's obviously got the freestyle event. So I wanted to put on something that's a little bit different, a little bit inspired by the solo piping, and mainly sort of the Glenfiddich, sort of as the pinnacle of solo piping. It's really, really cool. So I sort of started spitballing ideas with people like some of the top solo drummers being like, "Oh, what do you think of this? Like, when would a cool time of the year be to have a competition?" And it kind of just snowballed into me basically being like, you know what, why don't I just put it on and see what happens? So we've got a cool format. We've got a double MSR, which is 4-part maximum tunes, and they all have to be different. So with the Glenfiddich, obviously they play the same tune twice, so the same march twice, same stress bay. So this is in the style of, I believe, Inverness, where it's all different tunes. So also, a lot of solo drummers will agree that when you get to sort of the top end, everyone's playing sort of Donald Cameronian rants and whatnot. And I was like, let's get something new. This is an opportunity for people to just play like the randomly obscure tunes that they've always wanted to. And then we've also got the medley competition. And that originally started as do whatever you want. And then we sort of narrowed the parameters, and I gave people basically a set couple of idioms that you have to at least include. They can do other stuff outside of that, but it's got to include a minimum 2 parts of a compound time march. So it could be a 6/8 march or a 9/8 march or whatever. And then has to include 2 parts of a 9/8 jig, which we don't often hear except for the occasional pipe band medley, or like concert sets and stuff like that. So I thought that would be cool to get some new tunes out there with that. And then they also have to include 2 parts of a reel, and that can be dot and cut or it can be round. It's their choice, and then they can fill that and arrange it however they want, as creative as they want. Don't have to do intro rolls. The piper can start and stop as much as they want. I basically said, go nuts, see what happens.
That sounds like so much fun, though. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what some of the competitors come out with that. I've heard a couple ideas, and people have asked some questions like, "Oh, can I do this?" And I'm like, "Go for it, whatever you want." So it should be pretty cool.
Oh, smashing! So when is all of this happening? And can folks check out any of the action?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's happening on the 31st of January at the Centre for Contemporary Arts in Glasgow, which is just on Sauchiehall Street. So super central for anyone wanting to come along. You can get tickets. They're on sale just now on the CCA website. If you don't know where to find that, you can just Google the Masters Solo Drumming. It'll probably come up. Or you can check out the links that we've got on the Facebook page. We've been putting out sort of announcements of who's playing. We've just started rolling out the announcement of judges. I think by the time this episode goes out, we should have announced all of the judges, hopefully.
Yeah.
And there's pretty much on every post, there's at least one link that says buy tickets here. So if you've not got them already, then go out and get them now, because I'm sure it's going to be a really, really interesting event to see.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. By the sounds of it, even musically, it's going to be interesting, you know. But I know from a fan of solo drumming, this has attracted quite of the top flight of the solo drumming world. Has that been a bit of a focus of the Masters then, to invite the best of the best to the event?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the aim for at least the first sort of launch of the event. I was like, right, I'll ask all the top guys that I know. There are a couple who couldn't make it, unfortunately, having prior commitments. So missing a couple of your family favorites in there, but everyone who's on board has at least made the adult final, I believe, on a minimum of 2 occasions, and most of them have placed in the top 6 at least some point or another. So some super awesome talent on display.
There you go. And I know a lot of people listening right now who'd be living internationally and everything. Has there been any plans similar to the previous Masters for like doing a recording or something released for those who can't make it in person?
Yes, so we do have professional recording going on, and that'll be mixed and mastered and released as a wee album. Nice. We are currently exploring live streaming options, so I have no confirmation just yet on if that's going to go ahead, but we are looking into seeing what we can do outside of hiring a professional company to come and raise our budget by a couple grand.
Oh, easily. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but this is so exciting, and I think I'm all for it, because you're quite right in saying the pipers have loads of things to play at, you know, and the drumming world is kind of the poor cousin that gets shoved into the back room of the band hall, you know. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I think this is a fantastic development. So I'm hoping this year's Masters will go from strength to strength, and I'm looking forward to talking about next year's. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, me too. Hopefully for a long time.
That's it. Well, Cam, thanks so much for joining us on the show. And for everyone interested, we have included the links to the tickets and everything all across our socials. Please do go and grab them. Attend this event. It's going to be a cracker. And we'll see you on the other side of it, Cam. Thanks a million.
Magic. Thanks very much.
Okay, another little news story I'm going to drop in. I'm going to say a very happy birthday to Andante. Happy birthday, Andante! Yeah, I had no idea that Andante Drums was 40 years old. Wow, I had no clue. This is the thing, this is how old I am. I do remember them starting. I remember the prototypes. I remember the very first models of drums. If anything, I played in the Quinn Memorial in grade 2, and I think we had one of their first sets of Andante snares and tenors and bass. We got a full rig out from Andante, and that was like really early days. And like our band was kind of a star attraction because of that. You know, everyone would come over and go, oh, that's them new Andante drums, but what'd you think of them? Ooh, they're some job. And they were really light and, yeah, projected really well. They were lightweight, they projected well, they were... the tone that we got from those early drums was just fantastic. And then, sure, here we are now. Andante drums are played by some of the best bands in the world. And, yeah, just going from strength to strength. So congratulations, 40 years young, Andante. And, yeah, long may it continue. It's been brilliant following the story. So, I don't know, I'm starting to feel old now that I remember when Andante first came out. Wow. All right, there you go. 40 years old. Congratulations, Andante. Alrighty, so before we kind of wrap up everything to do with news and updates for this week, I know we've covered a lot of ground already, and we haven't mentioned the elephant in the room right now that everyone in the scene is talking about. If you don't know what that is, it was the announcement from the RSPBA this week around playing requirements for our major championships. Oh, man, oh, man. Has that been a talking point around band halls around the world since this was announced? Now, it's good and not so good. A lot of people asking tons of questions. What the heck is going on with grade 2 at the Worlds? All right, now it is complex. It's complicated. They have altered things a little bit. Whenever it comes to the Friday at the Worlds and the Saturday, how it's all constructed, how tunes are selected, how many tunes you submit, do you draw on the line, etc., etc., etc. It's, yeah, there's multiple scenarios. It all depends on the number of bands that are entered for grade 2. All right, this seems to be confusing a lot of people, right? The trigger number for bands for a qualifying scenario is 24. All right? If it's 23 bands or fewer, then that's a different ballgame. You don't need to run a qualifier in that point of view. All right? But the grade 2 bands are still playing on the Friday. Yeah, the Friday at the World Championships seems to be continuing to be developed. And, yeah, by the looks of things, not only are we going to get action from our grade 1 big guns on the Friday that we're well used to now at this point, but we're now going to get performances from our grade 2 bands as well. Now, as to how the scoring and all of the performances on the Friday, how that works, will it be brought forward to the Saturday? And then, similar to our grade 1 guys, a combination of the Friday and the Saturday decides our world champions? I have absolutely no idea. I don't think that has been clarified yet. Yeah, so I don't know myself, and I will be trying to find out for you. I will be reaching out and asking questions about each scenario for grade 2 at the Worlds. Just how is this working? But not only are we going to get action in grade 1 and grade 2 now on the Friday, but we're also going to have our Juvenile World Championships. Yeah, remember that? I know some people forget about that, but yeah, absolutely. Our juvenile grades have their World Championships now on the Friday. They call it the World Youth Championships, if I remember correctly. Now, they did run it as a pilot last year, and yeah, in some regard, it was incredibly successful, and then in other parts, some bits didn't work so well. So we are, hoping to see some improvements or changes to the Juvenile World Solo Championships. So, folks, the Friday at the World Championships is continuing to develop. And that's what we're seeing here with the announcement of playing requirements. All right. So that's the interesting element of it there. All right. Now, if you are planning and competing in any of your major championships, you should by now know your playing requirements, okay? It has been announced. Go to rspba.org, look at your respective grade and your respective championship, and best of luck. There you are. All your playing requirements are up there. Have at it. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. The World Championship Grade 2 has been a topic of discussion around many's a dinner table since it was dropped, and everyone's asking, well, in scenario 1, there's a qualifying on a Friday where you submit 2 MSRs and then you play a medley in the afternoon. Is that right? And then scenario 2, right, okay, it just gets really confusing, okay? It's up there. Do your best to study it. And my advice is, if you have any questions, go to HQ, who developed all of this, and ask, hey, what exactly are we doing at the Worlds? Right, if we turn up on the Friday at the World Championships, what are we doing? All right, but I guess we won't know what scenario applies until we get the draw. Yeah, once all of the entries have been confirmed, the competition has been drawn, and we can see for ourselves just how many bands is in that bracket, then we know which scenario it is. Either way, I believe what will happen is that our Grade 2 bands will have to play 3 times over the course of the weekend. All right? Now that's an added layer of difficulty. 3 times over the course of the weekend, Friday and Saturday. And when you think about it, our Grade 1 big guns play 4 times over the course of the weekend. You know, twice on Friday, twice on Saturday. And here we are now, Grade 2 is getting close. They're now playing a total of 3 times. Yeah, it's complicated, folks. It's complex. Go and have a look at it, rspba.org. Look at your playing requirements for each major championship. And the Worlds, I think it would be fair to say, it's complicated. But there you go. Yeah, I would love to know your opinions on that. You can email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. I'm sure this will be a topic for discussion for weeks to come. All right, folks, I think you've waited long enough at this point. We've covered a serious amount of ground in all of our news and updates. Thank you for sticking with us to this point, but I think it's time for me to go and get myself a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies, for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom-designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected.
Hello, this is Kerr McQuillan, and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
Yes, indeed. Time for Topic of the Week. Now, if you've made it through to this point in the show, well done. Well done. You deserve a round of applause. This has been an epic podcast so far, and we have yet to hit our topic, but we just have. I've had a great cup of tea there, and we're about to get into it. Yeah, this weekend is Winter Storm. Quite possibly one of the biggest piping and drumming events in the United States, arguably. And for me, it's been one that's always been on my bucket list, even if it's just to sample the Kansas City barbecue. I don't know, I've heard that many stories about the barbecue. But yeah, Winter Storm has rolled around, and this year's event, again, seems to be even bigger and better than the year before. Even if you think such a thing would not be possible, well, it is. If you've seen the lineup and everything that Winter Storm has in store for us this year, This is shaping up to be a huge event. So, ourselves and the Rab Show team, we took the opportunity to catch up with Mark Fullington from the Midwest Highland Arts Fund to find out all about what's going to be happening this weekend. I don't know about you folks, but I'm so excited for Winter Storm. It really just starts the year off on the right note. It's such a stellar event, and this is a great conversation with Mark. So, let's welcome Mark Fullington to the Big Rab Show Podcast. So, as you might have guessed by the title of this week's episode, Winter Storm 2026. It's hard to believe that it's here already. It seems like no time since last year's. But I don't know. I've said it on each and every show. Winter Storm seems to get bigger and better every year. And I think, 2026 has a lot of promise. It certainly seems to be a lot bigger and hopefully will be a lot better as well. You never know what they have in store. So to join us on the show this week to tell us all about it is Mark from the Midwest Highland Arts Fund. Mark, how are you? Are you well?
I'm well, Rab. How are you? Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, if anything, this is the time of year where I have, what do they call it? FOMO? Fear of missing out, you know? I'm stuck here in freezing cold Northern Ireland, but you guys are over there having the best time. 2026 didn't take long and rolling around, mate, did it?
It comes around quickly. It's surprising. It seems, like you said already, that it just happened, and here it is on our doorstep again. And it does come around quickly, which is good. That means we've never left it if we're always in it. So I'm glad for that. And there is a solution, Rab, to that fear of missing out.
What's that?
You know what that is. It's to buy a plane ticket and fly to Kansas City and participate in it in person. So we'd love to have you here, of course.
There you go. Do you know, all I'm seeing on socials right now, on social media, is people in airports jumping on airplanes. It's ridiculous. That happened last year, the year before. So many of my mates are all jumping on airplanes and heading to Kansas. So I don't know.
Good.
I feel left behind. So, everyone go over there, have a great time. I'm insanely jealous. Now, let's tell folks why I'm jealous. This year's event, Mark, it really seems to have some real big highlights this year, doesn't it?
Yes, I think so. We're real excited about it. I think probably the most exciting thing for me is we're adding a contest this year that we've talked about adding for years and years and years and just haven't figured out how to do it. And I think last year when I was on your show, I told you some of the challenges that we've had over the years, that we lost some space during the COVID era and kind of had to reconfigure the whole event into how we can function in the time and space that we have available to us. So that's been a challenge we've been dealing with for a while. And, as much as we would like to add more and more opportunities for other contests and to get more people involved, that's been one of the limitations. And I think we've been able to solve that this year. So we are adding a grade 4 piping contest, which is going to be fantastic. And the interest has been very good. So I think we've got 20 competitors lined up to do that. So we're pretty excited. We've got some adjacent space, near the hotel. That's a short walk that we can take advantage of to do that. And I think we've, even looking forward, have opportunities to expand that and another adjacent space that we can work into as well to keep having new offerings and expand what we're already doing. So really, really excited about that.
That's excellent. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that has opened the door now to potentially a lot of other competitors that never would have had that opportunity. But now they get that chance to be a part of it and step out on the boards. Right. So have you found there's been a lot of uptake then for this new grade?
I think so, yeah. And we've, for us, the competitions get a lot of attention, obviously. They're live streamed and they're the focus for a lot of people. But the workshops are a key part of what we do as well. The education piece is really the root of how we started. And so for many, many years, those coming to participate in our workshops are, largely the grade 5, grade 4 pipers and drummers, and yet we've not had that opportunity for them to compete at our event. So they've been coming, participating, supporting, and we've not given them that avenue to compete. So that's why we're as excited about it as we are this year. So for those who are competing in the grade 4 competition, we open it up strictly to those who are also enrolled in the workshop.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just it's completing the circle. So they can come, they can compete, and then also enjoy the workshops and hopefully get some feedback, some positive feedback, some constructive feedback from that. So we've got Tristan Wilson coming in. He's the pipe major for Chicago Midlothian Band, and he's going to come in. He's going to adjudicate that contest, and then he's got a series of workshops that he's put together to bring some feedback to those competitors and help all competitors at that level get better and be better competitors. So that's really exciting for us.
That's such a great idea. Yeah, and I'm really glad you mentioned the workshops, because that's one of the things that's the bit that I would miss. It's a lot. The competition, I've seen competition before, but honestly, the level of competition at Winter Storm is just off the charts. So absolutely, that's a part of it to enjoy. But the workshops for me seem absolutely fascinating. And some of the topics that are covered here as well by some of the best in the world, let's face it.
Right.
This is such a huge opportunity to learn from the best in the business, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Where else do you have that collection of people offering that level of instruction in one place?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's and for us in the U.S., it's a big place. So there are offerings on the East Coast and the West Coast, but for those of us here in the middle of the country, those are a little bit challenging to get to at times. It's a little bit more of a travel to get to those. So having that here right in the heart of America, it makes it a lot more accessible to a lot of people. And yeah, it's a phenomenal lineup this year, and really looking forward to that as well.
Oh, for sure. And there is a wealth of them. I'm not going to start getting into each workshop that's available. There's so many. But the opportunity to ask the person in the room, say, oh, hold on, I didn't get that. Could you explain that a bit further? You don't get that from like online sessions where they just move on and you have to hit rewind or something. But you can't unpack it. But that in-person element of it really means a lot, doesn't it?
Right. And there's a lot of it just, I think a lot of the challenges for the grade 5, the grade 4 players is the mechanics of the instrument, is getting it set up, getting it to sound the way it needs to sound. So, reed manipulation, just, tuning, a lot of those things that go into it, which, you can't do online. That's where you really need somebody there in you with the room, hands-on, doing that. And we've got a number of workshops that are geared toward that. So we try to keep a pretty good balance of all topics so that there is something for everybody, depending on what their needs are and, what their playing level is. So we try to keep a good balance of that as well.
That's it. No, there is absolute stuff there for a bare-bone beginner. If you've only just lifted a chanter for the first time, absolutely. But there is also the advanced stuff about pipe band setup, tune selection, even like a topic we were talking about a while ago, ensemble, like making music flow. So much interesting stuff there for discussion. So I don't know. There's a lot to benefit. And that's not just for pipers too. All right. There's a lot in here for drummers as well. And even notably, tenors and basses. The bass drummers are getting a lot of attention at this year's Winter Storm, I feel.
Yeah, I would thank you for bringing that around. I was going to say that as well. I tend to get stuck on the piping, but the drumming is a huge part of it as well. And we've got some of the best here to teach those classes. So, there's, again, something for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, one of the big elements of Winter Storm, obviously the competition, the workshops, but one of the big parts for me watching at home is the social element. See the amount of people just hanging out, even in the lobby of the hotel, snapping photos with each other and having the crack. That seems to be one of the really enjoyable parts of the event. Is that something that you guys kind of focus on and developing each year?
It really builds itself. I think it's a little bit just intrinsic in how we hold the event and where we hold the event, and being in the winter and indoors and in one location, as everybody's cloistered there, and it kind of grows itself organically. But it is a great feeling, and that's something that you can't pick up through the live stream. Which, if you can't make it to Kansas City, I would absolutely encourage everybody to enjoy the live streams. During the competition, we've got 3 different separate channels of live stream, so we cover nearly all the competition. So take those in. Obviously, we live stream the concert as well, but if you can make it to Kansas City, do come to Kansas City, because that's an element to the event that I think it's not something you can manufacture, and it's difficult to recreate, and the only way to really enjoy it is to be there and in the middle of it. So with the weather being as it's projected to be next week, travel shouldn't be an issue for anyone, so no excuses there. Easily accessible by trains and cars and airplanes, so hopefully we can get some more folks to come and join, and we do have plenty of opportunity still for people to come and participate in the workshops as well. So if they haven't made their arrangements yet, there's still time.
I see. Yeah. So for anyone who is maybe listening to the show right now and hasn't got tickets and are thinking of going to Winter Storm, then head along to the website, mhaf.org. All of your details are up there now. Not only what we were just mentioning here, all the workshops, details there, your competitions and all of that, but also concert tickets that you just mentioned, the evening concert, but also Winter Steam. Now, this event has become the stuff of legend. It seems to be getting better every year. Tell us about last year's Winter Steam. How did you find it went last year?
I thought it went really well. It was a lot of fun. We try to each year to come up with ways to make it more interesting, just to keep keep building the interest and the energy, and that is something that event brings for sure. So we've kind of taken the chains off of it and opened it up to just about anything goes. At any level. I think last year we even had some of the faculty participating in it, which was fun as well. So it's a really cool thing to be in the middle of, and I think this year will be every bit as good or better. So looking forward to that.
It's so exciting. And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm chatting about, go and have a view at the website, and then the little clips and stuff that make it online from Winter Steam are just absolutely fantastic. Pipers and drummers just having fun. You don't often get
that's
to
what
see
it
that,
is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. After a week of being very serious, it is a time for everybody to blow off steam. And for those who haven't participated in it and aren't aware of it, that's exactly what it is. We have a Kaylee challenge, so anybody can sign up and get on our stage and do whatever they want, and it can be pretty entertaining.
There you go. And if anything, it posed a lot of questions after last year. There was people running around with a watermelon with a Glengarry getting photographs took. What was all that about?
I missed that entirely, so I'm not sure what that was. But that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe listeners to the show right now will be laughing their head off going, oh, yeah, I remember the watermelon. I don't know what was going on. But the social element of the event seems to be a big part of it. Where pipers and drummers from all around the US and further afield gather together just to have fun. And that's one thing I take from this. Yeah.
Yeah. The US, Canada, all over the UK. It's gotten to be like family. I've been doing this now for 18 years. And it's that time of year. It's a family reunion to some extent, and just having everybody back over and getting caught up. For those of us who aren't able to travel to all the competitions around during the summer, this is our chance to get caught up with everybody. And it's just that social part of it it's so much fun. And I think it's true for everybody who attends, that there are a lot of people that they see there that they may not see through the course of a year, because they're on opposite sides of the country. So it's a good way to bring everybody back together and get everybody interested in piping and drumming again as we head into a new year and a new competitive season.
You are, absolutely. It helps get the motor running, as to say.
It does indeed.
Well, you did mention the live streamed element, and I did want to talk about it. You guys have certainly been developing that every year. And you mentioned that this time round you have 3 different channels practically covering the entire event. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, Andrew Douglas has done a fantastic job for us. He's the one that I think originally conceived it, and he's the one that's been putting this together over the years and improving it and expanding it. And I think it's the quality of the live stream has gotten better because partly the technology has gotten better. Cameras get better, internet speeds get better. Just the production value of the live stream gets better. So it's, we keep trying to expand it so we can cover as much of the event as we can for those who can't be there. But we've one of the rooms that we're going to live stream this year is really where most of the drumming takes place for So for those that like to follow the amateur snare and tenor and bass competitions, you're going to get a lot of that this year. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah,
because I did follow some of the action of the tenor drumming last year, and I didn't know what I was watching. You know, I'm not really a tenor drumming expert, but I was fascinated at the same time, seeing how everyone's technique was so different, but similar at the same time. You know, just rhythmically very interesting. Anyway, I'm going to start getting into world tenor drumming, but it was really interesting to watch. So yeah, for us stuck here, in my case, Northern Ireland, that we can't make it. So yeah, this service is fantastic. So, but I'm sure it doesn't come cheap. Live streaming and all of that is a costly business. So you guys do have a donation link and everything that you encourage people to kind of drop a few dollars, try and help out with things. Yeah.
We do, absolutely. You know, we're self-funded really for the most part. So, you know, our revenue streams come from those who come and participate, the generosity of a lot of sponsors. And we do have sponsors for the live stream this year, Mojo being one, the Eastern U.S. Pipe Band Association and the Midwest Pipe Band Association all gotten on board to make that happen, because there's definitely an expense in doing all that stuff. So it's, you know, that support is critical. And yeah, we want to put it out there for everybody to enjoy, but we'd also encourage everybody to make a donation, $5 or $50 or whatever you have. $500 would be great too. You know, every little bit counts. We are a 100% nonprofit and driven by a team of volunteers, and you know, anything we can have to keep this machine rolling, we appreciate it. We appreciate every bit of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we would actively encourage our listeners to donate as well, because honestly, seeing this event continue from strength to strength each year, it just really shows how popular and how important this event is for folks in the US and around the world as well.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. We're glad that interest has continued over the years. And we started this, you know, 23 years ago now. I think it's been. You never know where it's going to go. You know, it started as solely a workshop event and grew itself into what it's become. And you know, you never know what's around the next corner, or you know, where the tides of life are going to take us. And we've been very fortunate that we've had the longevity that we've had, and we certainly want to keep it going. And we're going to try to come up with new and interesting things, just, you know, to keep the life in it, and, you know, try to make it more accessible to more people. So that's Absolutely. Our goal.
Yeah. Oh, well, long may it continue. So, well, to everyone who's listening right now and you're possibly heading to Kansas City, just know that we're all insanely jealous, and we hope that you have the best possible time listening to the show right now. And if you are competing as well, best of luck. I know a lot of you have been preparing now for months leading up to this. So good luck. Have a good tune. We'll all be watching you and cheering you on. So, Mark, for yourself then, whenever the event eventually wraps up with the concert and everything, when do you finally get to kick the heels up and relax? Do you get to enjoy any winter steam at all, or?
I do. I think winter steam is probably the point at which I get to start kicking my heels up and relaxing, because there's a lot to keep on top of during the event to make sure everything stays on the track that's intended to be on. So once that's done, and once we get through the concert, that's my time to pour myself a pint and enjoy all of it myself. So always look forward to that part.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us on the show this week. It's going to be such an exciting weekend. We're very much looking forward to it. Yeah. And hey, best wishes to all of the team, you know, who helped put all of this together. You mentioned all the volunteers. There is quite a squad of people that make all of this happen, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and we've been very fortunate that we've got some very key people that have stayed with it over the years, and just a tremendous amount of talent. You know, everybody brings what they're best at, and we put it together, and it you know, just works out well. So we've just got a tremendous group of volunteers and volunteer board members that just have the passion for this event, that put everything they have into it each and every year, and it wouldn't function without it. And I'm so grateful that we have that team of people behind us, because it wouldn't go without them. So, and grateful for what you do too, Rab. You know, appreciate you having us on the show and talking about this event a little bit.
Not at all.
You do a lot to promote piping and drumming throughout the world all year round, and we appreciate 100%. That as well.
Oh, hi. Yeah, we're just doing what we can, I guess, from all the way over here, this side of the Atlantic. Yeah. But Mark, again, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Best wishes for this weekend. I'm sure it'll be a blistering good event, and no doubt we'll catch up with you later on this year. Yeah.
That sounds great, Rab. I appreciate it.
There you are. Thanks so much to Mark for joining us on the show this week. Winter Storm 2026. It's hard to believe that it's already here. Yeah, it seems like no time since I was talking about last year's event, and then boom, here it is again. Crazy where that time flies. But yeah, for full information, as we've mentioned, you can go and check out the Winter Storm website. Everything is up there, all about your classes, your various concerts, performances, competition, all of that stuff is up there. And of course, ourselves and the Big Rab Show team, we will share out all of those live stream links online to our socials as soon as they are published. So if you do want to catch all the action that we just talked about there, then yeah, get yourselves over on the Big Rab Show on Facebook and X and all that other stuff. And we'll do our best to share out all of those live streams as they happen. Yeah. So to everyone competing this weekend, best of luck at Winter Storm. We're incredibly jealous. We hope that you all have the best time, and do send us a selfie or two, or a little backstage clip and stuff, little videos and that. We would love to see that. For folks that can't make it, these things are gold. So if you can send us in anything from Winter Storm, we'd love to see it, and we'd absolutely share it out with all of our audience on our socials. Yeah. All right, folks. That has been the podcast to end all podcasts. That's it. I'm retiring. Episode 470. We're done. And that's it. I'm walking out the door. No, I'm not. I'll be back again next week. Yeah, we've got a great topic of the week to bring you next week. And not going to spoil it, but we might talk a little bit about it on next week's Big Rab Show on Fuse. All right, well, that's it for another Big Rab Show pod. Good luck to everyone at Winter Storm. No doubt we'll be wrapping up everything on next week's pod, talking all about Winter Storm. And, plus our amazing topic of the week next week. Looking forward to that. All right, folks, that's it. I'm out the door. That's such a long podcast this week. What's going on? If you did make it through to this point in the show, you deserve a medal. But I think that's us well and truly caught up on everything that's been happening in the scene. Yeah, and we'll see you all on next week's pod. Well, we're going to do it all over again. Until then, folks, we'll see you all next week. All the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.